Now, apparently, I covered this like sort of tangentially.
Yeah.
DeSantis, he's trying to do like the whole tough guy routine he's done for a long time, going after Disney.
Yes.
Bro, I'm going to stand up to the woke corporation, so I'm going to go after Disney in the state of Florida, which is definitely not a third rail. Tell us how that's going.
Okay, so first to give you the backstory, you guys may already know this, but I'll get through it quickly. So he passes the Don't Say Gay bill. Disney has a large LGBTQ fan base, and they also have a lot of LGBTQ employees and allies. And there was an outcry after Disney was basically like silent because they've positioned themselves as being this pro-gay company. So they're silent. They come under pressure, and they put out some like weak-ass statement that like decries the bill, and they cut off donations also to Republicans. So DeSantis decides he's going to come in over the top, and he's going to punish them and take away their power over this quote-unquote Reedy Creek Improvement District, which is kind of a crazy thing because they basically like run their own government, including fire, police, taxing themselves, levying bonds. They even do their own ride inspections. Like, it is kind of a crazy setup, okay?
It's like a private city. Disney has their own private city.
Disney runs their own private city.
Right.
Exactly
Yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, we're not going to do that anymore. Okay. But then, while he wasn't really paying attention, the Disney-backed board of Reedy Creek, they put out a public notice, as you have to, for their meeting. And in one of their last meetings before all the DeSantis cronies take over, they basically take all of the power of this district and they just hand it to Disney.
So they outmaneuvered him.
They outmaneuver him. It's a total end run, and it's humiliating for him. So since that happened, he has been desperately scrambling around to try to figure out how to deal with the situation. And all of his enemies now on the Republican side smell blood in the water, and they are going hard at him, including Trump, who is saying that he's getting killed by Disney. He called this a PR stunt.
Which, by the way, this is all true so far.
Yeah,
this is all accurate.
It is all,
Yeah.
and he's saying, like, basically, like, Disney can threaten this is a disaster situation for DeSantis. And so DeSantis suggested, he's still trying to do his tough guy bluster. He suggested, like, oh, well, maybe we're going to build a state prison by Disney.
Yeah.
As
By the
if
way,
that's some kind of own.
trying to appeal to the general electorate in America, and it's like, I'm going to shut down Disney World.
I'm going to shut down Disney World, and I'm going to like house a bunch of criminals next door while you're bringing your family
this
there.
is going to go over with that median voter. Good job. Good job.
Exactly. So it's this weird fight because, listen, I said this on Breaking, like, there's no one to cheer for here. Disney is genuinely like this large, terrible, unaccountable corporation, treats their workers like shit. Like, they're no heroes here, right?
But it's not like DeSantis is trying to fix that.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And then DeSantis is like, flailing around and trying to score his like woke points, and thought he really had a strong hand here, gets humiliated by getting outmaneuvered by Disney. And then, Trump, as he does, just completely smelling blood in the water. The weird thing is, or the interesting thing, I should say, is DeSantis's whole appeal is really to this more chamber of commerce, more like hard pro-business, more affluent part of the Republican base, and also the donor set.
Yeah, wealthy Republicans and the donors, right?
Yeah, the attack on Disney, Larry Kudlow is out there being like, DeSantis lost his mind over this stuff, and this is convoluting the Republican message, is what Chris Sununu said. Nikki Haley saying similar things. Chris Christie saying...
Chris Christie, I covered that one, what Chris Christie said.
Similar things as well. So the move is unpopular with like the donor set and the more affluent part of the Republican Party. The part of the Republican Party that's like non-college educated, like white working class part that might be more open to this anti-woke sort of like populist pitch, well, those are Trump people. And now Trump is telling them, no, DeSantis basically got cucked by Disney in this. So he's losing them on this. So this has all ended up being basically like a catastrophe for him.
They're overreaching. This is the problem. And we'll talk about this with our guest too. But I mean, like, look at what's happening with Mr. Beast. It's like Mr. Beast has a trans friend, and there's all these right-wing critics who are like, oh, some of them are just concern trolling, like, oh, is this bad for the Mr. Beast brand? I don't know. Is there going to be a backlash from his audience? Some of them are doing that. And then others are just launching an all-out attack on the trans friend of Mr. Beast. And it's like, you're dealing with somebody. Mr. Beast is like bigger than Disney. His YouTube videos get like over 100 million views a piece. You are punching above your weight. Disney, I got a million problems with Disney, but like this idea of, oh, they're too woke. Oh, we need to stop. They put a black guy in the most recent Disney movie. Oh, there's a lesbian. Oh. Nobody cares. Yeah. You know what the reaction is from your normie American? They're like, there's a new Disney movie out, right? Or they're like, okay, or they don't know the details of it, or if they do hear about it, they're like, yeah, I mean, I guess that's what it is these days. We're being more diverse or whatever.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. You guys they have terminal online brain rot, and DeSantis is the worst among them.
Yeah,
and
true.
Chris Christie made the point. He's like, look, you want to be president. You couldn't see a couple moves ahead. Like, you couldn't outmaneuver Bob Iger, but you think you're going to outmaneuver Putin or Xi?
Right.
And it was sort of a devastating point.
It is a devastating point.
So I love it. I love the fight. He's totally imploding in a comical way because to this point, he always at least was solid on the anti-woke stuff for the Republican base. You know, like, oh, there he goes again. DeSantis really leading the way on this anti-woke charge.
Yeah.
And now he just ran into a brick wall on the thing that was supposed to be his best issue for the Republican base.
Correct.
And it's just embarrassing. And then Trump's doing a victory lap because, of course...
Well, and not only is Trump doing a victory lap, and it smells blood in the water and just decides opportunistically to like utterly gut DeSantis on this issue, but at the same time, he just got 8 different Florida Republican members of Congress
funny story.
to endorse him.
One of them, Republican politician in D.C., met with Ron DeSantis.
Yes.
And then immediately when he got out of the meeting, he's like, yeah, we had a good meeting. So I'm endorsing Trump.
In the same tweet. Stubia, I think that's Greg
Had a great meeting with Ron DeSantis. Anyway, I'm endorsing Trump.
And there's a backstory of that. I don't know if you saw the backstory. So apparently DeSantis is just terrible at the,
retail politics
and doing the let me call you on your birthday.
I relate to that, by the way. This makes it more relatable to me. Yeah.
Sure. I relate to it too. Should this stuff matter? No. Does it? Yes.
Absolutely it matters.
Especially if you are trying to play the inside game, which he is. So this Stubby guy had never heard from DeSantis had never even called him. They invited him to some event. He was going to stand behind DeSantis at some like hurricane relief event. He goes to the event, and then DeSantis' aide is like, no, you're not going to stand up on the thing. And then once Trump starts rolling out these Florida endorsements, finally, this is the first he hears from the DeSantis team whatsoever. And that's why, he's like, no, fuck you. Like, no. And that's not there were other ones that DeSantis didn't support him in his fight for Ways and Means Committee, whatever. But all this, he didn't sow the seeds that you need to sow if you're going to play the inside game. And so right now Trump has 63 endorsements.
And he has like 3 or something. Yeah. And he doesn't know.
And in Florida,
if those numbers were reversed, Trump would spin that as like, I don't want their endorsement. I'm an outsider. I don't want anybody from the swamp to endorse me.
Yeah.
But DeSantis doesn't even have the political chops to spin the fact that he doesn't have endorsements into a positive. He's just sort of flailing wildly and losing at his own game.
Well, he's not officially running yet.
Yeah, I know.
Which limits him too. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's not looking good for him.
And Trump, by the way, is great at those things you just described, where if you say positive things about him, it doesn't matter if you're a serial killer. He will either be this wonderful guy, great guy. Yeah. Many people say he's misunderstood. There's some things that are accused against him. I don't believe them personally. But this is what he would do. He would go to bat for you as long as you, coddle his ball sack and tell him he's wonderful and say he's the best, then he's going to do that for you. But of course, if you, the tiniest slight against Trump and it's, you're done.
Stubby, that same dude who did the
hilarious name. Stop saying that name. Scooby-Doo.
I think that's his name anyway. I could be making it up. Anyway.
I hope it's not.
Apparently he had some tree trimming accident, was injured in the hospital recovering, and Trump called him. And so again, should these things matter? You should be choosing based on the person's policies and et cetera. But do they matter with these policies?
Yeah. And by the way, and Trump is not doing that because he's a good person.
No,
he's doing it because he has ulterior motives. Of course, but these guys are too, he was nice to me, Papa. Yeah. That's how they look at it.
That's how they look at it.
Jesus, children. Hey guys, what you just saw is a little teaser clip from Krystal, Kyle, and friends. There's a full interview that you can check out. Go over to Substack and sign up for free, and you can get the full audio version of the podcast, or pay $5 a month, and you get the full video of the show, and you get it a day early. And we spoke to Daniel Nashanian of Bolts Magazine, who, by the way, is phenomenal. He's an expert on elections. He's an expert on direct ballot initiatives. And honestly, he keeps me and Krystal informed when it comes to elections. So if you're ever wondering, how does Kyle know that thing about that direct vote on the minimum wage in Iowa or whatever? It's because I get the information from Daniel. We had a phenomenal conversation. Remember, guys, we don't take any corporate money, ad money for this show. It's all small dollar donations. So if you support the show, if you like the show, please consider paying $5 a month on Substack. You guys make this show work. So we love you very much. Everybody go check out the full interview. Links in the video description box below. We'll see you next time.